Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Elliott Homestead. All of a sudden, it feels like we're being hit upside the head with how much there is to do here on the farm. I needed to remind myself once again, and maybe you need this reminder as well, that there's no one and done. There's no like, hey, we built the chicken coop and now we'll never need to worry about it again. Or we weeded this garden path and now we'll never have to weed it again. The work goes on and on and on. It's easy to fall into the ditch of, really? We got to do this again? And if you're like me, maybe you're finding yourself there, whether it's in your home or in your garden. There's laundry to be done again. There's dishes to be done again. There's weeds to pull again. And sometimes it kind of comes on you a bit like a tidal wave. But that's okay, because even though there's new work every season, that means there's also new opportunity every season as well. One of the ways that we cultivate beauty here on the farm is putting a lot of care and consideration into the food that we eat, food that makes us feel really good. And we do the same for our animals. If you're like us, then Maeve is the dog food that you should be purchasing. Birdie is a big part of our life here on the farm. And when he's feeling good, then we're feeling good about things. He gets very excited when it's feeding time because he knows exactly what's coming. Maeve is a human-grade protein with organ meats and produce and supplements, and it's flash frozen, made with super high-quality ingredients and raw. And that's really important because dogs are meant to have a raw food diet, one that's natural and simple and reflective of what they would actually eat without any fillers or processing. If you've been following us for a long time, you know we actually made our own natural dog food for a long time. But again, so glad that companies like Maeve exist now because it saves us a lot of work being able to just get it and have it on hand for our animals. To support our channel, to make your dog really, really happy, you can scan the QR code, shop Maeve's dog food, or click the link below the video. Use the code Elliott for 20% off your first order. I've learned that it really is the act of pouring yourself out for something that creates an affection for it. Think about parenting your kids, for example. Way before they can tell you, oh, I love you, Mom, thank you so much. You just pour yourself and you do all these acts of affection. You change their diapers and give them baths and rock them to sleep and coo back at them and tell them how much you love them. You pour yourself into them. And because of this, you grow in affection for them. And I think that the same can be said actually for our work. When we do this labor and this outpouring, whether it's into our gardens or into our home or into our relationships, we in turn grow in affection for those things. We grow in our heart, in our capacity to love them. And I think this is actually kind of a really neat point because we really do encourage, and we're speaking to ourselves here as well, to cultivate the beauty in the world. And cultivate is an active word. If you've ever cultivated a garden, you know that just as much time, if not exponentially more, is spent weeding that garden and tilling it and planting it and planning for it, as is the harvest, or as is, being able to cut the beautiful flowers and make the bouquet. So this is an active, visceral, pull your boots on, get your hands dirty kind of an affection, this cultivation of beautiful things. And if I'm being honest here, when I'm feeling really cynical or sad for myself, I can look at things. Picture, if you will, a spread in a magazine, a gardening magazine, and you open it up. Everything's perfectly in bloom, perfectly color coordinated. There's not a weed in sight. The pathways are clear. That is such a fake moment. It is such a minuscule amount of time. And behind that beautiful picture was probably 15 people setting it up and staging it and, putting pots of things in and tweaking things and deadheading. It was just a fleeting moment. That's not what life is like. And then we look at that picture. And again, when I'm feeling sorry for myself and I think, well, that's not what my life looks like. That's not what my gardens look like. That's not what my family looks like. That's not what my laundry room looks like, if we're being honest. But that's not real. Real life is real. And you know what your real life looks like. And I think, again, this should be good news. We are cultivating. We are working. That means there's work to do. That means it's not all done. That means it's not all perfection. It's also really easy when I'm feeling sorry for myself in a particular moment to think, oh, it must be nice. It must be nice to have a team of people helping you in your garden, or it must be nice to blah, blah, blah. Insert the blank, right? We've all done it. But the reality is, too, everybody has a story and everybody gets to prioritize things a little bit differently. So this week, we got to go to Christianson Nursery, which I was so excited for because for years we've been shopping at Molbach's, which is a few hours away from us, but it was like where we would go for birthdays and for anniversaries. And it was a really special place with outside landscaping supplies and pond plants and house plants and all kinds of wonderful pottery. And it was just my favorite place in the world. And then it closed. We have nothing like that where I live, but once or twice a year, we try to make it over to a big nursery just to enjoy the space and enjoy the time. And this week, we were able to finally visit Christianson's, and it was so wonderful. It was everything I wanted it to be and more. But again, you could look at this and look at us coming back with a few wheelbarrows full of plants and think, oh, it must be nice. But here's the story. We began gardening when the only money that we had, or the only plants rather that we had, were ones that we could get from other people. And so my Uncle Joel was really great at saving things for us and dividing for us. And I had some gardening friends who would, split their iris bulbs with me or give me a dahlia tuber or those kinds of things. And so we went through years of gardening, of just knowing that this is the way that we wanted to spend our time and also the way that we wanted to spend some of our resources. So once we had some more resources and some more money, you only get so many hobbies, you only have so much time. And so what I did was begin to squirrel away money every single month in anticipation of trips just like the one we're taking today to Christianson Nursery, because this way there's no guilt involved with spending. This is actually what this looks like for us. Every month, a little bit of money gets stashed away so that in the spring, when the time comes, when the plants are ready to be planted, we have a short window here because it gets so hot in the summer. So this is really go time. We've squirreled away that money little by little by little. And I think this is, again, great news. If you're just getting started and you don't have a lot of money for a garden, that's okay, because gardeners are very generous people, and we've learned how to let things go to seed so that they will grow us some little baby plants. Columbine is really good for this, or lamb's ear also. All kinds of plants will give you new babies every year, or how to divide or how to save seeds so that we can spread the pieces out to other gardens, or to share it with other people who are into gardening as well. So it's not just a matter of what resources you have at the ready, it's also how you take them and how you squirrel them away, or how you share them with others, or how you let other people know what needs you have. That is part of this work. That's part of this cultivation. And that's something that you can never capture from a photograph in a magazine, is all of that labor and cultivation and sacrifice and saving. So I suppose it'd be good if I just quit in my mind thinking, must be nice, because I know what goes on behind the scenes of those photographs. And usually it's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of labor. Honestly, I think I could have come home with one of everything from the nursery, but there is a budget and we know what that is. And so I had to practice some self-control, which is also good for the gardener. It's good to move a little bit slow. So I suppose all this is to say, if you are a gardener and you prefer trips to nurseries and beautiful new, lilac topiaries to diamonds, you are seen. I completely understand you. Gardening really is a way of life. And even though we try to keep this idea of cultivating beauty very broad and so applicable, whether or not you're a gardener, there is something very tangible about it in the garden, in the actual physical garden. And this time of year is just when we are off to the races, as it were. Part of really what brings joy to me is when you labor, and then you're actually able to reap something really beautiful from it. So right now our tulips are blooming here in our home gardens, and I can gather up bouquets and share them with friends. Or my mom, when she came over the other day and went home with an armful of tulips. I can share little plant babies now because our resources aren't as limited as they used to be, but somebody else's are. And so we can take some excess of what we have and share it with other people. And that's when this idea of kind of cultivation, it's not just about you. It's about creating this like pocket of joy for other people. My friend Amber, she bottle fed our little lamb Benny when we were out of town for a couple of days. And she sent me a picture and she said, you know, a beautiful home cultivated by Shaye Elliott. And she was just saying, wow, like everything's in bloom and it's so beautiful. And even she was able to take some joy away from the garden. We can only have so many priorities in life. There are so many things that I would love to do. But gardening has and will always have this piece of my heart because, man, we are cultivating something really, really beautiful. Even if you just have pots on your doorstep, or even if you just have houseplants, there is something that's so life-giving about taking care of these wonderful living things all around us. So happy spring, my fellow gardeners. Cheers.